At a temperature of just more than 30 degrees, you don't have much time in the freezing water like this before things can take a turn for the worse. Fortunately, Hennepin County Sheriff's deputies were here ready to pull us out. It was also nice to have this on. Inside the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office's Water Patrol headquarters, deputies assured me this was a new water rescue suit and didn't have any holes. We're helping them find out during their cold water rescue training.
We practice regularly, especially this time of year.
Along the shore of Lake Minnetonka, Deputy Sheriff Matthias Weinerall says the ice isn't in great shape.
The last couple of days, the rain and the warmer weather has definitely taken a toll on the ice. You can walk 5 feet from good ice and be almost on no ice.
Their message is simple. The ice is never 100% safe. No matter how thick it is, the Sheriff's Office has the tools for a rescue, including this new Willcraft, built specifically for the Sheriff's Office. It can float if it breaks through. And their tried and true airboat, easily maneuvering across the lake. Other machines sometimes aren't as nimble. The Minnesota Department of Natural Resources recently shared this photo of a half-submerged side-by-side ATV in Lake Mary near Alexandria.
Even though a lake might have enough ice in one spot, it might not have enough ice somewhere else. That's what we're seeing a lot of out there.
DNR's Ice Safety Coordinator, Nicole Biaggi, says never assume you're safe and check the ice as you go out. This picture shows the recommended thickness for what you can bring on the ice. This guidance, not followed well, can be deadly. Since 2017, the DNR reports an average of 3 to 4 ice deaths per winter season. In more than 75% of those cases, a snowmobile or ATV was involved.
Have the proper safety equipment, especially if you are venturing out on that thinner ice. So you want to have flotation gear, ice picks, a throw rope, and go out with a buddy. Never go out alone, because that way somebody else can help you if you fall through the ice. And just let someone know where you're going and when you expect to return.
Back in the freezing waters of Tonka, Weinerall and his team did their thing.
I'm going to put this over the top of your head, okay?
Also in their waterproof, cold water rescue suits, they pull me out with ease. Weinerall said he's been part of a handful of ice rescues.
What are those like?
Stressful. You're trying to work as fast as you can, because that person 9 times out of 10 is in a panic.
Making these trainings crucial so he can stay calm and keep saving lives. Reporting for Nightcast, I'm Ben Henry. For 6 months now, Sergeant Mike Vi has been with the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office. Where are we headed now?
Right now we're headed to the Whittier neighborhood.
Joining alongside the launch of their new auto theft unit.
We're trying to get people their property, their cars back as fast as we can.
We rode along on a typical patrol for the unit.
We'll get intel in the morning before we roll out.
Spending time in hotspots, checking license plates, and watching for suspicious-looking vehicles.
So I'm just looking right here at this car with the door open.
After checking, Sergeant Vi said it hasn't been reported missing.
Hey man, how you doing?
Still, making sure all is well.
All right, just saw your car with the car open. Want to make sure you're not falling over or whatever.
The new unit rolled out as the problem worsened. The latest state data shows thousands of cars stolen, increasing over the last few years, with more than 9,600 stolen cars in Hennepin County alone just last year.
Something has to be done.
Captain Matt Steffens oversees the work done by dedicated patrols and investigators.
With our new unit, we're starting to see a difference in the auto theft problem countywide.
He says Minneapolis is their main focus, and numbers from the police department back up that improvement. So far this year, MPD reports more than 1,200 fewer stolen cars compared to last year at this time.
We're all probably seeing and working with each other on a daily basis because it's all intertwined.
Captain Steffens says efforts from automakers Kia and Hyundai have helped too, both hosting free events in the Twin Cities to get anti-theft software added to certain models. Back on patrol, Sergeant Vi says people can do their part, locking doors and taking their keys with them. As another stop checks out okay.
You can see that that's not punched, so we'll move on.
Let's go for a walk.
Before finding love on 4 legs,
She immediately caught my heart. Good girl, Winnie. Good girl. You like this weather, don't you?
Kathy Rossi knew her dog Winnie had a painful past.
It was heartbreaking for me.
3 different times she was adopted.
It took a long journey.
3 different times she was returned.
She went back on the adoption floor.
Winnie always ended up back here at the Animal Humane Society.
I think the issue with Winnie's return was just that the families weren't a right fit for her.
Brittany Bauman with the Humane Society says one of their volunteers helped make Winnie the right fit for Kathy.
She cemented the deal, pretty much.
Hi, my girlfriend. Oh, hello, my girlfriend.
That volunteer
I missed you. Oh,
is Mary Jo Madsen. For the first time since Winnie was adopted a few months ago, the three were reunited.
When I met Kathy, I just knew when she looked at me and said, if I adopt her, she's never coming back. And I went, oh, that's perfect.
Winnie has a sweet success story, and the Animal Humane Society's goal is always to find forever homes.
To see her in her new home, in what will be her forever home, it's just amazing. And it's really why the Animal Humane Society exists. It's why we do what we do, is to get dogs into good homes.
Good girl. Good girl, good girl. Oh, you're a good girl, yeah. If you have the time and you have the patience, and that's what it takes.
One dog story proving love will keep us together. In Shakopee, Joe Mason, 5 Eyewitness News.
In Stillwater's Pioneer Park, those bright yellows and reds are finally popping.
We love the fall, and so I always make him take me somewhere where the leaves are beautiful.
Sarah Kendall and Shihab Mbabe chose this weekend specifically to check out the fall colors along the St. Croix River.
It is a big attraction, you know. I mean, I think that's one of the big things that comes with Minnesota.
But in recent weeks, this colorful canvas appeared a bit muted. Some yellows and reds, but still a lot of green in there. Check out the view from Chopper 5 from just this past Tuesday.
If we are warmer than average, fall colors are going to be slightly delayed.
That's Brian Schwingle with the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources, who says warmer weather and drought conditions put the color change on hold.
They try to hit the right time, and they call our front desk and they say, well, when are the leaves going to be perfect?
So the timing of this annual coming out of color makes a big difference to Chuck Doherty, owner of the Water Street Inn.
I mean, it brings people out. I mean, there's always kind of a lull right after Labor Day until the leaves start coming in. It's probably a 20 to 30% increase.
With those colorful leaves come the crowds.
The Chamber of Commerce here says they are expecting between 10 and 15,000 visitors this weekend. It's their second busiest month after July.
It's a little less busy inside, but it's been pretty crazy today.
And businesses like Candyland are packed.
The number of sales are definitely in the thousands today, which, you know, is a lot busier than our average Saturday, but, you know, it's a lot of fun. I like helping people, so it's awesome.
Sarah and Shihab say they just got lucky.
We were debating which weekend do we go looking at beautiful leaves, but we chose this weekend.
Despite that weather delay, luck and a little patience putting some green into merchants' pockets and allowing Minnesotans to see nature's fall reveal. In Stillwater, Richard Reeve, 5 Eyewitness News.
Scoop after scoop, load after load on the south side of Cottage Grove. The city's most expensive project ever has started.
Work is underway.
Yep.
That's got to be exciting to see.
Yeah, no, it's great to see materials here.
The city's Public Works Director, Ryan Burfine, says this will be the home of Cottage Grove's newest water treatment plant.
It's very exciting for the city. Big day, long time coming.
Called the Low Zone Water Treatment Plant, this is what it will look like. All part of the city's Clean Water for Cottage Grove plan.
It's official.
The work officially beginning with this September groundbreaking ceremony.
The city of Cottage Grove has been at the epicenter of the PFAS contamination in Minnesota.
The new plant is just down the road from 3M's Cottage Grove facility. As we've reported for years, the company made and disposed of PFAS, also known as forever chemicals, which eventually got into the water in more than a dozen East Metro communities. Since being detected in 2006, Cottage Grove set up 3 temporary treatment plants to clear PFAS from the water. The state sued, settling in 2018 with 3M for $850 million. That's why this state-of-the-art facility, worth $39 million, and another water treatment plant down the road won't cost the city a dollar.
This is really good, well-proven technology. This is a granular activated carbon treatment plant, and that's what's going to treat all of our wells right from now and into the future.
Now, the city will really be able to focus on
the long-term needs.
Liz Koffenberg with the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency has been working alongside the city through their plans. Plans, she says, will last decades.
Through the drinking water supply plan, we built it so that it's resilient in terms of the science that's changing around PFAS and making sure that we can accommodate that.
Because they are a very permanent solution, you have to take your time, you have to do everything correctly, you got to think about the future, right?
The water treatment plant will be ready in 2025 and serve Cottage Grove residents south of Highway 61. The second plant will eventually handle the rest of the city. During construction, Cottage Grove says their temporary plants will continue treating water they say is and has been safe to drink. Lindsay.
All right. Thank you so much, Ben, for that.
Hey, not like we would normally see it if it was this time last year, but these snowmaking machines are the only thing keeping these trails open. They had to close more than half just to preserve the snow that they have now. And we spoke to some people who are ready and waiting for the snow, the real stuff, to make its way here.
We're just going to go for a nice night ski back from college, you know.
It's not the winter reunion these two friends were hoping for.
It's been just way too warm lately.
Woo! Hitting the slopes depends on this snow machine at Theodore Worth Park because Mother Nature is taking some time off.
It's not the same, but we'll take it.
So we're in the rental shop right now at the trailhead. Mainly this is like cross-country skis.
But a lot of these rentals ranging from snowshoes to snowboards are staying on the shelves.
Definitely it's varied, but there's been an overall decrease.
Danny Walsh, manager on duty, says the record-breaking warmer temps and lack of snow is impacting the interest in snow sports. The trailhead has not opened more than half of their trails because of the lack of snow.
It's rare that we'd be making snow at like full speed in approaching mid-January.
It's been really weird. I like to ride my fat bike and ski and stuff, and just haven't been able to do a lot of that.
People who thrive in the snow are missing out on the season Minnesota is most known for.
I guess it kind of makes me a little stir crazy because it's like one of the joys of winter is getting outside.
But some Minnesotans are running on optimism that the temps will turn around and it will start to feel more like winter.
I'm hoping it gets a lot colder and we just get a lot more snow, especially with the World Cup coming up.
And this trail is hosting the World Cup race this spring, so they're really hoping for more snow. And the goal is to have all of the trails back open this Saturday. But, of course, it's not up to us. It's up to Mother Nature. Live in Minneapolis, Brittany Ehrman, 5 Eyewitness News.
For gondola owner John Kirschbaum and his crew, how does it feel to be able to go out again?
Oh, it's awesome.
It's a new season and a new beginning.
You get back the first time, it's like electricity going through your arms with that oar. You get on the water and you can feel everything and maneuver the boat with it. It's always fun to be on the water.
The water, in this case the St. Croix River, that until recently was flooding dikes, parks, bike paths, and marinas.
We had to put sandbags here just to make sure that it wouldn't get into our shop.
The flooding put the Bayport Marina 3 weeks behind schedule. High waters covered launch platforms and roads here. 200 boats sitting at dry dock.
Normally we would be done before Memorial Day, and this time will be 2 weeks into June when we're finished launching.
The very first of those boats going into the water today.
People come down here and they take pictures of the marina. This is where we're at, how long it's going to be till we get back in the water.
Mickey Kiefer's boat, perhaps saying it best, meant to be.
Some of the marinas downriver, they had a problem where some of the boats, if they didn't put them in the water and put them in the marinas, the boats would self-launch. So it was a concern.
The Stillwater Chamber of Commerce says 60% of the city's economic base is from tourism.
Not our first rodeo.
So good news that those sandbags held and flooded areas are drying out.
It's just been up and down. But this city is prepared for the flood. And when you live in a river town, you expect that it just might happen.
Back at Kirschbaum's gondola, we got a river view of the water, still high in places, with Zico Stead behind the oar.
I said to my boss, it looks like a World War II beachfront with like the sandbags.
Still a kind of relief that the St. Croix is finally returning to its old self.
You always get high water in the spring. It's just a part of life living on the river. And not every year it gets really high like this, but it happens often enough, and it's just something you deal with.
And we've all gotten used to the sight of those sandbags and the giant pumps here on the riverfront designed to keep those floodwaters at bay. The mayor here says that they will start removing that equipment in the next couple of days. Now, the river, as we said, has been a little bit high still, about 5 feet higher than normal, but it is receding just in time, Kevin, for the spring weather to begin and for tourist season to start in earnest.
This time, thieves smashed a front door window and also took out a huge front window pane and robbed the Lost Fox of some cash and property early Friday morning.
It is disheartening when things like this happen because you're like, when is it going to happen again? You're on edge.
The restaurant's owners say the other 3 burglaries within the past year, the suspects came through a basement window or broke in through a back door.
I mean, it's like such a big problem. It's not like one individual feels like they can do much about it. And again, I don't want to see them go. So it's just kind of sad.
After 4 burglaries in 12 months, the neighborhood rose up to help keep the doors open.
Really, the neighborhood and your customers have helped pull you through this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been like overwhelming the amount of like people that just come in to say hi or say sorry or to give me a pat. I don't hug people. I've hugged more people this weekend than I've ever hugged not in my life, but in a really long time.
Their regular Lower Town customers taking a stand.
When that happened, I mean, there were a few of us regulars that were here the very next morning. You know, how can we help? Can we do anything? And, you know, just to hear you say, like, you're doing it right now. You're doing everything we need from you guys right now just by being here and showing us that you care.
Even their next door neighbor, the Urban Walk, was broken into that same morning. And just for the Lower Town neighborhood alone, St. Paul police records show a 25% increase in burglaries from a year ago. And crimes against property slightly up from 123 last year to 124 this year. But owners Annie and Mike Rose say they're not moving from the neighborhood.
You just have to continue to go forward and then keep your eyes on the street. Call when you see things that aren't supposed to be there. Clean up your neighborhood. If there's syringes lying around, sweep them up.
And their regulars, along with others, are showing their support by showing up one purchase at a time.
It's very sad to see things that we have part of our daily lives just kind of deteriorate and keep falling apart, going down, yeah.
And you hope they stay, right?
Oh, I really hope they stay, yeah. Chocolate cake's phenomenal, and the espresso.
St. Paul police tell me all of this.
Oh, say, can you see?
It's a meeting of hockey heroes.
It's not about how much you give, it's just how you give.
Giving here at the Coon Rapids Ice Center.
It's going to be fun. Hopefully it's not too cold.
At this charity hockey game in free skate, U.S. military veterans, former NHL stars, and Blue Ox Junior League players
I think it's awesome.
hitting the ice for a good cause.
We want to raise awareness for post-traumatic stress for our U.S. military veterans and their families.
The organizer of this event is Jay Garstecki, the founder of the Operation Healing Heroes Foundation.
All the money that we raise tonight is going to go towards the treatment of post-traumatic stress in our veterans and their family members.
Garstecki started the Illinois nonprofit in 2015, taking veterans on fishing trips as a way to battle PTSD. Moving to Minnesota, he wants to do the same thing for vets with hockey, starting with this event.
For the military, all that they go through, sacrifice, not only themselves, but their families.
Lending a hand here is hockey legend Neil Broughton. The Minnesota North Stars player, with a gold medal from the 1980 Olympics, says the game he loves can make a difference for vets.
Kind of takes them away from whatever stress they're feeling or whatever they went through, and they get to play with some pretty good players, have fun out there, and just enjoy the night.
Among those hitting the ice is U.S. Army veteran Dan Jarvis.
I struggled with post-traumatic stress for quite a long time.
With more than 2 decades in the military, with his service dog Maze with him, Jarvis says he does peer counseling for other veterans.
So it's events like this where veterans can actually come together and start getting reconnected with that community. So it's for me, it's a no-brainer.
It should be cool. It should be humbling, I guess. But it'll be fun to skate with them and hopefully talk to them a little bit.
With that time on the ice, friendship and healing for those who've given so much.
They come back and sometimes they don't have the physical wounds, but the mental wounds are something that they have forever, for a lifetime. And if we can make tomorrow better than today, that's what it's all about.
And each team playing tonight was a mix of military veterans, NHL stars, and junior league players. Garstecki says hundreds of people came to see that battle on ice. He said it was the first time they've ever done this, but he's planning to make this an annual event at the Coon Rapids Ice Center, Lindsay.
Yeah, I bet it's successful. It's perfectly Minnesotan.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Thank you, Richard.